Yo, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Power Sports Network. I'm your host, Jackson Powers, and today I bring to you the Indianapolis Colts versus Cincinnati Bengals preseason Week 3 recap. Last one of the preseason. Next recap I do will be in the regular season. Gotta love it. So, yeah, if you guys don't know, yesterday the Indianapolis Colts played the Cincinnati Bengals in the last game of the preseason, and the Colts did get the victory, winning 27-14. And there's a lot to like about this game. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. First person I want to talk about is Anthony Richardson. Now, Anthony Richardson, he wasn't overly good. He wasn't overly bad. I would say his performance and his numbers were just okay. You can definitely make an argument for both of them just being okay, because statistically wise, he was 8 for 14. He had 86 yards. He had a touchdown and a pick. And he was pretty up and down. And I think we found Richardson's biggest problem is going to be inconsistency, because the first drive, the Colts had the ball. Anthony Richardson drove right down the field. I think he was 7 of 8 on that drive. And then threw a touchdown pass to A.D. Mitchell. Looked very poised, was making all the right decisions, didn't force anything, delivered good balls. It was all great. And I was thinking, oh, we're so back. Next drive, Anthony Richardson throws a really bad pick six. So I feel like we're in for a lot of that this season. But I also may be overreacting. Now, I'm not going to give him a bunch of crap for the pick six he threw, because that was kind of on Kylen Granson. Kylen Granson ran the wrong route, and Richardson threw it to the wrong person, obviously. Now, there was some Richardson throws that were just inexcusable. Like, he had A.D. Mitchell wide open on a third down, and he overthrew him. Can't do that. And there was other times, like, a lot of it was miscommunication. The only really bad throw was the one to A.D. Mitchell. Like, the one that I really questioned, like, why the fuck did you do that? Because the interception, it was miscommunication. A couple of the other missed throws were miscommunication. But that's definitely stuff we gotta get going. But if there's a time to make those mistakes, it's during the preseason when the games don't matter. So, yeah, I think Richardson, his performance was okay. I'm not really worried necessarily, but our season is really going to come down to how Anthony Richardson plays. They were talking about it on the broadcast. Kirk Herbstreit kept saying that our team is a playoff team. It's just really going to depend on how Anthony Richardson plays. If Richardson's bad, we're probably not going to be a playoff team. If he's good, we're going to be a playoff team. It really comes down to quarterback play, and it's just really going to depend on how Richardson plays. Also, one thing I want to point out is the first drive when Anthony Richardson led the touchdown drive, Jonathan Taylor played that whole drive, and that was the only drive of the game Jonathan Taylor played in. So Richardson struggled when Jonathan Taylor wasn't in the game. I just want to throw that out there, because when Taylor's in the game, the defense has a whole nother thing to defend, and the reads are a lot simpler for Richardson when Jonathan Taylor's in there. So we're going to need Jonathan Taylor to stay healthy for sure. So I think people are overreacting to his performance a little bit. I don't think he was the worst. It obviously wasn't the worst thing in the world, but could have been a lot better. Now, I understand it was Bengals backups and third stringers, but still, there was a lot of stuff we wanted to see, and then some stuff we didn't want to see. So it was okay. And yeah, that's really all I got about Anthony Richardson. I do want to talk about the rest of the offense. A.D. Mitchell, he looked pretty good. He was getting open. He had a couple catches, and he had a touchdown. Alec Pierce had a couple catches. He looked pretty good. He was getting open a lot. Our backs looked good. Jonathan Taylor, he didn't get many carries, but the ones he did, he had pretty decent carries. And Evan Hull and not Deion Jackson, what's his name? Tyler Goodson, they both looked good. Xavier Scott looked good. And we even had another running back, Demetric Felton. He had a nice 40-yard touchdown. So we got a lot of good backs on this team. It's going to be very hard to get that down to 4. Like, obviously, Jonathan Taylor and Trey Sermon, they're obviously going to be 1 and 2. Those are settled. But you got 4 guys going for 2 spots. And honestly, those spots are probably going to go to Evan Hull and Tyler Goodson. Because they both have looked good all preseason. But yeah, I think our other 2 backs, they're going to make a team for sure. And I also want to talk about the play of Jason Bean again. Jason Bean, he looked sharp. I think he was like 4 of 4. He had over 50 yards, led a touchdown drive, had another rushing touchdown. He looked sharp. He looked very good. And I seriously think that if we keep 3 QBs on the roster, Jason Bean could be QB3. I'm going to say it. I love Sam Ehlinger, but Sam Ehlinger, he's not been as impressive this preseason. Jason Bean has been pretty impressive. I've liked what I've seen from him. I would love it if the Colts kept him. And if we decide to keep Ehlinger at QB3, Jason Bean is going to be on a team somewhere. Someone else I want to talk about, Laquan Treadwell. He's going to make a team for sure. There's a lot of guys on this preseason roster that are going to make other rosters because we got a lot of good players. And like, I've been on the Jason Bean bandwagon for the last 2 weeks. I'd love to ride that through a whole season. That would be awesome. But if we don't keep him, it is what it is. We'll still have Sam Ehlinger because we like to keep 3 quarterbacks. So, yeah, that's really all I got about the offense. I want to talk about the defense now. The defense really impressed me yesterday. The defense as a whole, all 3 units, allowed 1 touchdown. Now, you're going to look at the score. They had 14 points, but 7 of those came on that Anthony Richardson pick 6. So, our defense as a whole allowed 1 touchdown. And it was the 3rd stringers that allowed that touchdown, and it was late in the 4th quarter. So, I really like what I saw from all of the defensive units. The starters, they did really well. Obviously, going up against 3rd stringers and 2nd stringers, they did really well. 2nd and 3rd unit did very well, and that's what we want to see. We need the defense playing very well. Eric Johnson, I think he single-handedly made the team last night just off of his chase down on the quarterback. The quarterback took off a run, had like a nice gain, then he chased him down, stripped him. We picked it up and got a turnover out of it. So, number 93, that's a number to remember. The hustle there, he probably made our roster just because of that play alone. And yeah, I was very impressed by what I saw by the defense. That's really all I got there. And then the last thing I want to talk about is Spencer Schrader, the kicker that's sitting behind Matt Gay. We need to have a serious conversation about the kickers because Matt Gay has struggled this preseason and Spencer Schrader has not struggled. I think Spencer Schrader has made every single field goal he's attempted. He's made all of his extra points. And in yesterday's game, he made a 56-yard field goal, no problem. He made a 41-yard field goal, no problem. And he made all of his extra points. He looked sharp. He looked very good. And I like Matt Gay and all, but we need to have a serious conversation about maybe, just maybe, keeping Spencer Schrader instead of Matt Gay. Unless Matt Gay steps it up in the regular season, we should give it some thought. I might be crazy for thinking that, but we should definitely give it some thought for sure because Spencer Schrader has looked very good. And he went to Notre Dame for 1 season because he was a transfer. But Notre Dame bias playing in there. He's looked very good in the preseason, and honestly, if I was in the position of cutting the 53-man roster, it would actually be a pretty tough decision between him and Matt Gay, because Matt Gay, like I said in my last video, other than his 450-yard field goal game against the Ravens, he has been so inconsistent. It's not even funny. He's one of the highest paid kickers in the league, and he has struggled, to say the least. So I'm just saying, Colts organization, if you're watching this, give Spencer Schrader a chance. Someone's going to call me out for that in the comments, more than likely, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, that's really all I got. Like I said in the beginning of this, the next recap I do will be the regular season. So pumped for it. This was the last game of the preseason. The Colts got 17 days, well 16 days now, until the season opener. We got a 2.5 weeks to prepare, get things ironed out, and yeah, I'm pretty pumped for this season. We got a pretty good team. Our secondary is a little concerning, but our front seven is so good. Latu is very good. And yeah, the game MVP this game, honestly don't know who to give it to because there were just so many people that contributed. Fuck it, Jason Bean can have it again because Jason Bean had a good touchdown drive and had a rushing touchdown on that drive. Every quarterback led a scoring drive. Looked good. We got some tough decisions to make for this upcoming 53-man roster cut. I'll probably make a video about the roster once they cut it down to 53. And yeah, with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning into the Power Sports Network. If you guys enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss another episode. And follow everything in the description box. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.